Blessings, good evening. As usual, we'll begin with some guided meditation. So please find a comfortable posture. So once you're sitting comfortably, close your eyes and maybe begin by bringing your attention to the crown of your head, tip of your head. And just begin the practice of observing how your body is as you're sitting here right now, from the crown of the head downwards. So feelings of pleasure or pain or tension, or just neutral feelings. You might find that you have a variety throughout your body. As you pay attention to your head, your face, if you notice any tension, muscle tension, try to relax. But also notice, can you feel anything inside your head? Normally we're not aware of our head unless we have perhaps a headache. So maybe you just have a very neutral feeling in your head. But more sensitive is your skin. So your skin may be feeling the air, hot, cold air, wind from any kind of fan you have going, or from the outside. You're not judging these sensations, you're just noticing. But if there is tension, say like in your jaws, or in your shoulders, your neck, wherever, and as you move your attention down your body, then try to relax the tension. So you're sitting in a natural, comfortable way, not putting too much pressure, say, on your legs, not tensing yourself, so that you're giving yourself the chance to sit comfortably for a while without moving. So you go from the top of the head down to the tips of your toes, slowly observing the different parts of your body. Normally we practice mindfulness of breathing at this time, but today I'll talk a little bit more about the contemplation of the body, or the 32 parts of the body, because this is also a central practice in Buddhist meditation. It's so important that when you become a Buddhist monk, it makes up part of the ordination procedure, that the preceptor will teach you the first 5 meditation objects on the body. So that's the first 5 of the 32 parts. That's hair of the head, hair of the nails, that's hair of the head, hair of the body, nails, teeth, skin. And these are the most obvious body parts that we're most familiar with. Because say when you look in a mirror or a photograph or you're looking at other people, these are what you're seeing. And you notice their hair, their skin, their teeth, their nails. It's what we're familiar with, and for ourselves it's what we take as ourself most of all, because it's what you see. That's why we spend so much time on our hair, on our skin, on our nails, on our teeth. And it's that familiarity of just taking for granted, just assuming that these things are a self and belong to a self, is where we can investigate that identification with these first 5 body parts as self. But before we can really investigate the truth, we have to practice paying attention to each body part. So just as we normally would put attention on the in and out breath, the feeling of the in and out breath, today we're moving attention to each of these individual parts of the body. So beginning with hair of the head. Even if you're a monk or a nun and you shave your head, you still have hair there growing. It may be very short at the moment, but there's still hair there. And the first thing you can recite, say if you're focusing on the first body part, hair of the head in Pali is Kesa. So you can recite Kesa, or use the word hair or hair of the head, or whatever language you're familiar with, use that word. And keep your attention up with your head as you're doing it. And you might imagine the image of maybe a single hair first, from memory. Just what does a hair look like in your mind's eye? You bring it up. It can be a long hair, a short hair, the color, whatever the color is of your hair. You'll notice actually if you ever study an individual hair, the color can change from one end to the other. Then hair, if you pick it out of your head or you pick it up off the ground when you've combed your hair or cut your hair, you pick up hair, well there'll be color variation. Sometimes it's more dirty, so it's a bit greasy. Sometimes it even has dust or dead skin attached to it. You're now looking at an individual hair. It comes out of your skin. Through the pores of your skin, hair grows, fed by dead cells, protein cells and cells from the blood. Which is why you can cut hair, because it's dead cells, so it doesn't hurt when you cut it. It would hurt if you pull it, because the base of your hair is still with the live cells of the body. But once hair goes beyond the skin, it's dead. So you may begin by visualizing one hair and reciting just hair, 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 or kesa, 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 to keep your attention there. And then you might expand the meditation over time and put your attention on all the hair, or a bunch of hair. Like when you cut hair, you see a whole group of hairs joined together, and they might fall to the ground. So you might take a a group of hair. Again, there'll be some color variation, different lengths, different colors, some grey hairs, some dark hair, depending on your own hair color. The more hair you have, the more likely you would get some smell, especially when your hair is greasy, hasn't been washed for a while. The smell can sometimes be more unpleasant. But you keep focusing your mind on the image of a single hair or else a group of hairs. And developing mindfulness as you do it. So we call this Kaya Gata Sati, your mindfulness directed to the body, and in particular, the hair of the head. Sometimes people doing this, their mind becomes calm, and an image pops up by itself. Sometimes you have to create the image or remember an old image you've seen. You're developing with mindfulness a sense of detached awareness or equanimity, just knowing one part of this body, hair of the head, and already becoming aware of the sense that it's impermanent. Your hair detaches itself either by itself or through you cutting it. It's nothing that lasts very long. It's something that you can't really say is the seat of your happiness, because hair is so obviously temporary. It can't give you lasting happiness in life. It's not permanent, and it's not self. As I said, if you're looking at your hair or someone else's hair, you're looking at dead cells. Dead meaning that's it, they're dead. You cut them off or they drop out and they're gone. Most of the time we take hair for granted, and we say, my hair. And we style it and colour it and play with it and wash it. But it's actually just dead cells. So you can move from what we call samatha meditation, just visualizing the image or reciting the word, kesa, 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 or hair of the head, hair of the head, to a vipassana practice, contemplating the impermanence and the lack of self in hair. So just learning to look at one part of the body from the eye of Dhamma, from a place of truth, unbiased, detached awareness. So you're not looking at hair now as you might when you look in a mirror and you say, oh, that looks good, or that looks bad, or that's out of place, or I need to colour it, or why so many grey hairs. All the usual thoughts and reactions, you're not following them, you're not creating them at this time. You're just knowing hair as hair, just one body part. Maybe even the sense of my hair starts to disappear. It's just hair, it's just hair. And if you cut your hair and other people cut their hair and they all go onto the floor, maybe you can't even tell which body, which person the hair comes from. So you're depersonalizing a part of the body in this meditation. Just changing your view, changing the way you look at it. And particularly noticing the unattractive side, because we're usually so obsessed with making things look nice, look good, look attractive. Or when we look at other people, we're often judging them and saying, I like that hairstyle. Now we're noticing the unattractive as well, what they call patikula, the unattractive or repulsive side. So you can think it through. Sometimes you have to help this practice by thinking through. If you don't wash your hair for a few days, it becomes more smelly, greasy, dirty. If you didn't wash it for many days, the smell will become so strong, other people wouldn't want to sit next to you or be with you. The grease would become more, maybe you even get bugs and head lice and stuff. So this is just one part of the body. And the next stage of this meditation, you move on to the second part, which is loma, hair of the body. So we have facial hair, hair on our chest, hair on our arms, our legs. And everyone has some hair. Some people have more than others, but everybody will have body hair, loma. So again, you can recite the word loma, loma, or hair of the body, and maybe pick a spot, a part of your body. It could be the leg. You just pick a bit of your leg and imagine or visualize the hair there. Maybe one individual hair growing out of the skin of the leg, for example. You could pick anywhere else, but just for example. Generally, hair of the body doesn't grow as long as much as hair of the head, but it still grows slowly. Hairs drop out. Hairs change over the years as you get older. Sometimes you get longer hairs sprouting in places that didn't used to have it. When you're young, your hair is often one color. When you get older, it darkens and then goes grey. Some of us were born with blonde hair. Already by the time you're 7 years old, the blondness have gone maybe for some kids. In exactly the same way as for hair of the head, hair of the body, you contemplate one hair and then maybe a group of hairs, a patch of skin with many hairs on it. Again, if you don't wash your hair of the body, it becomes smelly, dusty, greasy. It has the repulsive side to it that gradually emerges over time when we don't wash. You get sweat and grease on it. And that's just the nature of hair. And it's not a person or a being. We use this description, my hair, but it's not. It's just dead cells coming out of the body in different places. So in a very peaceful, relaxed way, you're getting to look at your body from the inside out, seeing the unattractive side, the impermanence and the lack of self. You can do the same with nails, nakha is the word, teeth, danta. So even in the Pali language, danta, it sounds like dentist, doesn't it? It's the same root of the word. So teeth are danta, danta, danta. Nails are nakha, nakha, nakha. Skin, tacho. Skin is a hard one because the Buddha said it's like a bag that wraps up everything else, seals up. This body is sealed by a bag of skin. So it covers over all the other unattractive, repulsive parts of the body, the blood, the bones and the organs. It's because we've got skin that we can sit down next to each other, that we can go about our business. The skin keeps in a lot of the smell, a lot of the unpleasantness of the body. And so, of course, we put a lot of effort into looking after the skin. If you've got light skin, sometimes you want to tan. If you've got dark skin, you lighten it. And we're never happy with our skin. It's too rough, too smooth, do this, do that. Spend a lot of time beautifying this body and forgetting or being unmindful of the fact that skin is impermanent, not self. Until something goes wrong, like when you get a cut or some injury or skin disease or skin problem. Of course, we all know that skin is constantly flaking off because it's dead cells. The very surface of the skin is dead. Nails are dead cells. Teeth are dead. That's why you can tap them and eat food without hurting. And skin is why you can rub your skin, your hands together, because the outer layer of skin is dead cells. So you don't feel much until you press in or cut in, then you might feel the pain because the inside is obviously full of nerves. So for each body part you practice visualizing, reciting the word, visualizing, but also maybe contemplating the impermanence, unsatisfactoriness, not self. And you can experiment by doing this for all 32 parts of the body. You can get the parts from the chanting book. They're not hard to memorize. And it's a way you can develop direct insight into these three characteristics. So we'll end the meditation there.